In the 1950s and 60s, the college fraternity was a pillar for men who were the best of the best. It was comprised of members in a manufactured exclusive club, all with similar looks, social status, interest, and promise. Members were seen as promising, intellectual, chivalrous men who were the most upstanding men at the university, as well as future leaders in business, politics, sciences, and more. Its counterpart, the sorority, existed as a place for these future captains of industries to meet a proper wife who would complement him on his future rise in the working world. Then, in 1978, a movie was released that changed the face of Greek life forever. Animal House, directed by John Landis and produced by Ivan Reitman, turned everything on its head, showing a ruckus and exaggerated depiction of fraternity life. However, while they were making fun of the fraternity system, they were actually doing something deeper. They were actually exposing a dark underbelly of college life and its most prestigious sacred cow, the Greek system. Animal House depicted a world where fraternities and sororities were not breeding grounds to get the best start in your professional life and land the best spouses to look the part. Animal House did the opposite. It celebrated the part of Greek life that no one has openly talked about before. And America was never the same after this movie was released.
I'm proud of you, Lawrence!
Animal House portrayed college life through the lens of humor and satire. The film showed those in college that you didn't normally see. The rowdy, irresponsible, rebellious students who prioritized partying over academics. And while these stereotypes were exaggerated for comic effect, they were also certain elements of truth, highlighting real issues within the fraternity culture, such as hazing, excessive drinking, and irresponsible behavior. On the one hand, it exposed the flaws within the fraternity system, but on the other hand, it reinforced negative perceptions. The story of Animal House is actually very simple. It's the snobs versus the slobs. It's about a fraternity of men who are essentially the rejects of all the other fraternities. Instead of the men who are grooming themselves to be future leaders in the world, the Delta Tau Chi fraternity wasn't consumed with the future. They were only consumed with one thing: having fun in the present day. They were a collection of losers, drunks, nerds, and every boy your mother told you not to date. The bulk of Animal House, beyond pranks and lewd jokes, is that they are all a disgrace and a menace to the college, and an embarrassment when compared to the other fraternities on campus. So the dean of Faber College, Dean Wormer, makes it his goal to get the Animal House Delta Tau Chi fraternity kicked off campus. How? Well, actually, it's pointless how. It was more about letting the group of hooligans mess up. Give them enough rope, and they'll hang themselves with their lunacy and idiotic behaviors. And while essentially that's the entire plot of the movie, no one understood that upon its release, all the kids who were looking to enter college around this time, and were looking at possibly joining fraternities, started to realize that they would rather not be one of the stuffy, upstanding men in the leather sweater. They'd rather just go to college like the Delta Tau Chi house and have fun. And this shift, thanks to the movie Animal House, had a significant impact on popular culture and the way college life was portrayed in subsequent movies and in real life. Suddenly, the establishment was the bad guy. The movie was essentially the counterculture for colleges, and it was only reinforced by other types of college movies such as American Pie, Old School, Van Wilder, and dozens more. They all grew inspiration from the success of Animal House, perpetuating the party-centric college narrative. But remember, prior to Animal House coming along, this was not the norm, and Animal House literally changed the vision of what it was like to go to college. It went from Noble Pursuit to Toga Party. Furthermore, the film introduced iconic characters that became ingrained in the cultural lexicon, and people wanted to be these characters. The rebellious and carefree attitude of characters like Bluto, portrayed by John Belushi, became emblematic of the college experience for many. Instead of looking at Bluto as a flunk out in society, people actually wanted to become Bluto, further solidifying the film's influence on how people perceived college life. The impact of Animal House extended beyond the realm of entertainment, infiltrating real-life college campuses and fraternity communities. While the film was criticized for its glorification of reckless behavior, some fraternity members embraced this film's spirit of camaraderie and began organizing events that mirrored the outrageous parties depicted in the movie. Animal House also faced criticism for its portrayal of women and minorities. The film depicted female characters primarily as objects of desire and perpetuated racial stereotypes. This aspect in the film sparked important discussions about representation and gender equality in media and college campuses, leading to increased awareness and advocacy for more diverse and respectful portrayals of women and minorities in popular culture. The members of the Delta Tau Chi fraternity, the Animal House, were loved, but had no moral compass. They stole at a grocery store, they spied on girls in their bedrooms, they slept with married women, even teachers. They got stoned, drunk, defied authority, flunked out of school, started food fights, and even in all this questionable morality, they were still loved by audiences who wanted to be them. The movie turned everything on its head. It turned the losers into the good guys, and the ROTC upstanding members of society into the bad guys. And when the dean threatened to shut down the fraternity, they still didn't care, throwing a toga party, going on a wild road trip. And even when they got kicked out of school, they still crashed the parade with a cake float that read, "Eat Me." The characters of Animal House called into question the clash of who was morally right and superior. On the one hand, you start the movie with the obvious assumption that the good guys were the respectable ones. Douglas Niedermeyer, Greg Marmalade, and their girlfriends Mandy and Babs. Kevin Bacon played Chip, a hopeful boy in a beanie who just wanted to become one of the establishment. And those who didn't fit in, well, they were sort of put into the corner so they could be forgotten. They would never be accepted into this exclusive country club. But in the movie Animal House, it turns out there was a fraternity for the losers. And as Larry Kroger and Kent Dorfman walked into the rush week, they were hit with the dregs of society, who, according to the movie Animal House, depicted them as the heroes. There was John Belushi as Bluto, a drunken bum who pees on their leg. What an entrance. There was Robert Hoover and Eric Stratton and Peter Riegert as Schoenstein, guys who were nice, likable, but not going to be friends at the country club. The same could be said with so many characters there, including D-Day, Stork, and Larry Kroger and Kent Dorfman not only fit right in with that group, but thrived. The movie would also spark to the ongoing theme of snobs versus slobs and start showing up in many other future comedies of its time, such as Caddyshack, Stripes, and more. Suddenly, it became cool to be the outcast. And this was made by National Lampoon, an organization originally called the Harvard Lampoon, made up of guys who went to the stodgy Harvard University who rebelled. Ultimately, the legend of Animal House is complex, encapsulating both the positive and negative aspects of its impact on college and fraternity life. But at the end of the day, you could always chalk it up and say, hey, it's just a movie. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please give the channel a subscribe and the video a like, and be sure to check out more video essays on this channel. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you in the next one.